Alright, gonna do some mount runs here on OG Neekap. Very old character. Gonna hit up both Karazans, then Zolgarub for the Raptor. Then we will hit up difficulty Mythic. Then we will hit up BC. So I think that's just Ashes for me. Ashes of Alar. Then I will do Wrath Lich King. So Invincible, Imran's Head, Utgard Pinnacle, Blue Proto Drake. Can't remember if there's more I had Wrath or not, but then we'll see from there. Let's go down the car. I do have. I guess I could go Firelands for. If I go Firelands, it'd be for Alistrars, because I have the one off Rag, and then it would be. Let me see here. Oh, Deathwing for the Blazing Drake and. Or wait, I think I have to look at that achievement. Cataclysm raid? No. What is it under? Dragon Soul is Cataclysm, right? It's not in here. Let's figure that out. I don't think I already got it. Where's car? Car's on. There you are. I don't think I have that achievement. No. Oh well, I have no idea. Here's the first one. See how we do here. Inside. Oh, some of my stuff sold. Oh, come on. Alright, let's see. Could this be it? Oh, I got the Drape of the Righteous. It's on now. Condemn. Condemn. Alright, here we go. Here we go. No. Bracers of White Stag and Hand Wraps of Thought. Alright, on to Return to Karazhan. I gotta remember the order to do this in. As much time as I spent in Return to Karazhan trying to do that Jennifer secret, I'd think I would know my way around, but I kind of am blanking on where to go. I guess I know the dungeon, I just don't necessarily know the pathing. Alright, let's go. You have to go up first. Oh no. I'm at level 60, I'm not just gonna one-shot everything. Oh well. Here. Guess I could use my Covenant ability. DoorDash. Man, I'm pulling everything. Stuff's only level 45. Oh, yeah, because I'm only... Oh, wow, this scales up quite a bit. I forgot it's only 5 levels. Legion's 45, and then BFA is 50. That explains it. Oh, well. This is the only one of these I have to do. Get them rips. Oh, I thought I got past them. Alright, down here. Let's go. Do the stupid event. This is a pain in the butt, I guess. But okay. Gonna have to get my Twitch up. Okay, as a song of their love rumbles. Who is this? Generations of Emily. So Romeo and Juliet? Oh. West Side Story. I forgot they did more modern stuff in this one. Easy game. There we go. Bonus loot? No. Okay. Die. It's a shame this class isn't stronger. It's pretty fun. Okay. Can I not pull anything else? That'd be ideal. No, that's not gonna happen. Oh well. Alright, so now we need to go to the hall. Okay, whatever, we're just gonna have to kill these guys. Alright, no problem. Phew! I definitely don't know if this is worth doing on another character, but... on a lower level. But we'll see. Now, I believe I want to kill Morose and get the key so I can leave quicker without Hearthing. I don't want to Hearth because I'm close to his little grub. I guess if I do ZG first in the future, I could just Hearth out. That might be the play. Okay. And there should be some keys somewhere. There's his keys. Okay. Got some nice keys. Let's try to DoorDash. Let's see if we can jump past anybody here. Wait till this guy runs away. Go. Okay. It's working, it's working. Yeah, okay, I get it now. So when I'm done here, I just want to run up those stairs. And then the door should be unlocked because I have the keys. That will work. Okay, pull everything for some reason. This is kind of crazy to do as a low level. Kind of reminds me of old World of Warcraft a little bit. I'm actually getting my butt kicked. I might die. Well, the boss is dead. It's half the battle. Okay, everything's dead. No. Fear of perdition. So all I got was relics. Great. Awesome. Cool. Alright, let's go to Zul'Gurub and see if I can get my raptor. Oh, cool. You get the Darkmoon Fair trophies from old content. I did not know that. I will have to do that on some of my other characters. Alright, door's unlocked. Broken stair. It's so weird being in here not searching for food for the cat. There's the door. Get the hell out of here. Oh, set the dungeon to heroic. Zul'Gurub. Guess check for this treasure chest. This is like one of the best. I don't even know if this is handy notes or what, but if you want to get treasure chests marked on your map, I mean, it's honestly one of the best add-ons that I love. They're almost always worth opening. If you're on a low level, they give you experience, but they're almost always worth opening because they could give you an item that's worth, 1,000 gold. They could give you an item worth 50,000 gold. You can get an Orb of Deception or something, right? If you're in a high enough level zone. And yeah, it's one of my favorite add-ons. Rare Finder's pretty good too, but that only shows up if you've fought the rare before, unless it's a like newer content stuff. Like I think from Legion on, I think it's when they redid how they do the rares, and those are actually on there already. But definitely, I think it might be handy note treasure chests, but I'm not sure. It's definitely my favorite thing. Treasure chests in like the starting areas and like low level areas aren't worth opening, but anything that's like lower Stranglethorn is worth opening. Cape. Did I set it to heroic? Yeah. Zul'Gurub heroic. I actually like this dungeon. A lot of people hated the remakes and stuff, which I understand honestly, but I actually kind of liked it when it was new. I thought the last boss, the way that worked was pretty cool. Like a lot of people couldn't do it. They just didn't understand that there's like this really in-depth mechanic to do. I remember running it when it first came out, and I think I might have been running it with friends or something. We're like, how do we, like, we didn't play betas or PTRs or anything back then. And we had to like figure out how to do it on our own through wiping. Obviously, that's just nostalgia because the information was there available. We just weren't smart enough to access it. Okay. These things are low level, so I can just go past them. DoorDash. Leap. Ah. Leap. There we go. Alright, let's see. Oh, I still didn't one-shot him. Okay. 3, 2, 1. No. 2 rings. Very sad. I guess I can hearth from here. Or wait. Engineering? Toy box. Wormhole. Travel around Draenor? Is there not? Did they must didn't make one for BC. Because I've played this character in BC and I would have it if they made it, so. Head over to Ashes of Alar. I think that's the only mount I don't have from BC. That drops in like a raid or a dungeon. I do have almost every mount there though, even the ones that don't drop. BC was a heavily played expansion for me. BC, Wrath. Oh, I didn't change my home. Oh god, back in Borealis. Doesn't feel great. I actually like Borealis as a city. It was actually really well done. I wish these old cities actually meant something. I hope there's like a role-playing community somewhere that like goes to Borealis and like pretends to be pirates or something. It's very sad when the old cities don't get used. I mean, it's sad that even Ironforge isn't used anymore. Alright. To Alar. You know, it's probably faster to take the portals to Hellfire, actually, but... Okay. Head up there. With BC coming out soon, there is part of me that wants to play BC Classic, but I know I'll end up having the same experience I had in regular Classic, which is actually playing the game is a lot differently than the way you remember the game. And unless you like stopped playing, like I get it, like people who hate retail now, I kind of understand. But if you played past like if you've played concurrently through it all, for me it's hard for me to imagine going back and playing it because it's honestly really bad to me. Like I'm someone who always touted vanilla to people. Like, dude, I played in vanilla. It was so cool. You used to have to do this and this, and there were cool things about it. Like professions back in the day were really cool. Like there were some things that hold up, but like other things do not hold up at all. So yeah, for me it's just the leveling wasn't fun. The griefing wasn't fun. Like I didn't get grief that much when I started playing because leveling up, it was as long as you were in I was in alliance. As long as I was in an alliance area, it wasn't bad at all because everyone was doing other stuff. Like when I started playing, people were prepping really hard for Nax, I believe. Was like they were waiting for that to come out when I started playing, and so I think people were like too busy prepping for that to like go grief people. There was a lot of griefing in Stranglethorn, I remember, and having to log out and stuff, which sucks. But you don't remember those memories fondly, right? So those aren't like stuck in your head where you're like, oh yeah, that was so cool when I got camped Stranglethorn forever. So you just kind of forget about that with nostalgia. But playing again, I quickly remembered all the bad parts, and you know, it's like this just isn't for me. I had some. You also have some of the worst type of people that play Classic. I know Asmongold, which I don't even know if I should say his name, but I know he calls them Classic Andes and they're like really toxic and stuff. But that's my experience as well. So I'm not big on Classic. I played BC more. Like I endgame rated in BC, so that's the biggest difference, right? Whereas in Classic, I mostly just PvP'd. Just because I didn't know what else to do, and I walked into some raids and didn't really contribute. To, you know, I was the person they make fun of, I guess. It's just a body in a raid, and Never got any loot from a raid or anything. So my first real experience was BC. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be a raider now. So there is part of me that wants to come back, but I mean, Netherstorm was freaking amazing. Netherstorm is probably what first got me going on like secrets and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool secret stuff in Netherstorm. Yeah, I don't know if there was a secret finding Discord back then, but if there was, Netherstorm might be the place where they could have really gotten off on some pretty big stuff, because there was all kinds of cool stuff hidden around Netherstorm. Cool quest lines and stuff like that. And they were just like hidden quests, you know, they weren't secrets per se. But there's all kinds of cool stuff here. I can only imagine what Secret Finder, like, if the community would allow the modern retail people to put like a secret in game or something like that for them to solve, as long as it didn't like reward like something that they did, like they'd have to okay everything, right? They're very big on that, but they could do some pretty crazy stuff with Netherstorm. This raid is a pain in the butt back in the day as well, since we're just talking about BC right now anyways. I was in a pretty bad guild that raided when I was doing this, but it yeah, it was not a lot of CC involved, and I'm sure like there's some things that probably still would get CC'd, but there's things that nowadays you would just cleave it all down. I know you had to like spam, the way you did at least back in the days, you had to spam sheep on one of the guys continually. Alright, get all that down. It's crazy that this skill is all up to level 30. Because I guess it makes sense. It's half level, 60, 120. But 120 was BFA, so yeah, I guess it doesn't really make sense. So technically, if you went on the same trajectory, we'd be at 130. So 65, I guess this stuff would be level 32. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Good enough. The 7th ring of the Tourist Fallen. Alright, let's go start the encounter. This could be it. Ashes of Alar. This fight, so my history in old raiding, like before Wrath, so just BC I guess, was I would always be in a guild where we would get to the final boss of a raid and we couldn't kill it. So we'd be just good enough to get there, but not good enough to kill it. And this was no exception to that. I remember progging on this fight. I remember I wanted to be the person that like got a cool weapon, but I don't think I was one. I was a tank. I was one of the tanks. And I didn't get a cool weapon because I wasn't like the main tank or anything. And I think he used to bring like stupid amount of tanks. So I remember progging on this fight and it not being super fun for me. Whereas I watched a Preach video where he was talking about it and he loved it. He was like the guild leader and everything though. I think it's different when you're just like a noob and have no status and you're just like, hey, go stand in this corner the whole fight. The one thing about Modern WoW 2 compared to this is that one player can make a lot more of a difference, it feels like. Like, you can have a clutch save of a raid. Which, is, of course, is part of it's because it's only max of 20 people now. So, obviously, it's easier. The less people, the more one person has an effect, but... I really wish they would get rid of some of this downtime on this part. I remember during a wipe, I went and equipped one of the legendary weapons just so I could say I equipped a legendary. I was such a noob. I don't even remember what my guild was back in BC. I remember Resilience coming out and my friends making a guild called Resilience for the Lose because they thought it was stupid. And I'm like, no, dude, this is really good for PvP. That's all I remember, really, as far as the guild goes. I remember, that's not true. I do remember a couple characters' names, I guess. But not in a friendly way, so I won't mention them. It wouldn't be fair if I made you fight all of them at the same time. Fairness was never given to my people. Oh no, I was AFK. Oh no, I'm stunned. Blade storm it. Alright. Oh wow. I've never triggered everything to come fight me before. Must be a time-based thing. That's kind of cool. The girdle of fallen stars. Everything was bought back in the day. Alright. Ashes of Alara, let's go. Ashes, ashes. Come on. Come on. Let's go, ashes. Ashes. Come on, come on, come on. I know you want to drop. I know you want to drop. No ashes. Much Sag. I can probably wormhole to Northrend now. Do my 3 mount tries there. Go to Storm Peaks. We'll do Mimron first. Okay. Let's go to raid difficulty 25 player. Okay. Raids, Wrath, Boldar, Yogg, normal, blue, Imran's head. Okay, let's go. Oh, train. Bran, what's up? Somebody said that you can get this thing working. I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to Yogg. Olduar rating. Yeah, Olduar. So Wrath Lich King, I was a little bit better of a raider. It was also my first time doing DPS. I always considered myself a tank, but guild looking for a warrior DPS. So I went Fury, I believe. Two-handed Fury with Titan's Grip. And yeah, so that's what I ran in Wrath. I loved the reforging, which people always want to bring back. I kind of see that because it was really cool. Armor pen. So basically, what I used to do back in the day, because I didn't know about all the websites and stuff, was I would literally look up like the best. Either I would just go by like they have the best gear on or whatever. I would find like the best player of my class. So in this case, a warrior. I would find like one of the best warriors, and I would literally just whisper them and be like, "Hey, you got any tips for like a new warrior?" And most of the time, they would honestly, especially back then, actually say something like positive back to me. And like one of them was like, "Yeah, armor pen." I'm like, "How much armor pen should I have?" And they're like, 100%. And I'm like, "Is that possible?" And they're like, "With the trinket, it's pretty easy. There's a trinket that gave like a proc of armor pen." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." Well, I just reforged everything and got myself up to 100, like 90, like mid 90% armor pen without the trinket proc. And I just started destroying everything. And I'm sure there was a lot of people that did that. But like for me, I was a noob and my guild wasn't that good. So, you know, they considered it to be really good. That's the coolest thing is when you're a noob, you don't realize that you're a noob, and you don't realize that you're in a noob guild. So, you just kind of think that like you invented something. I kind of miss that, honestly, because I was always kind of doing stuff like that. So I miss the idea that I'm inventing something. Although I will say I said way ahead of time that Kyrian was going to be the best for Ret Paladins, and here we are. Of course, that was not by me crunching numbers or anything either. That was just kind of gut feeling, I guess. Just looking at the way the abilities worked and wondering how a 1 minute super powerful cooldown like Divine Toll and with the Ringing Clarity. I guess because Ringing Clarity did have some hiccups in production, I guess. Maybe that's why some of the number crunchers weren't sure about it. Because I remember them saying they weren't sure how it worked. So I guess it just ended up working the way I assumed it would work. So because of that assumption, that's why it's good. Okay. Let's go through here. Probably not going to get anything. This isn't worth anything, but I never learned it. That's crazy. I have a lot of patterns. Antechamber? Alright. Let's see if we can DoorDash past these guys. I actually never fought Algalon when the game was... when this was retail. I did get to Yogg, and I honestly can't remember if I killed Yogg or not. I want to say I didn't, just like Cal. But honestly, we might have. If we did, it was just the one time. The guild was definitely good enough overall to do it. We actually did some we did some hard modes on Trial of Crusader that I was very much lucky enough to get invited to, because one of the hard mode... we did hard modes on 10-man, 25-man guild, but they only had like 10 players good enough to do hard mode. And one of the players from the hard mode group quit, and so I got invited to the hard mode group, and that's how like my real endgame rating kind of started. Oddly enough, so I actually do remember a lot of rating in this. My my guild my guild during Nax. So I was in like 2 or 3 different guilds during this expansion. My guild during Nax fell apart because our raid leader, guild leader, was moving across the country, USA, and he was he's gonna be down for a week or two, and he put this guy, I remember the character's name even, this guy named Indian Pride in charge, and he's just you know, like Indian as far as like from India, right? That just was his name, and very thick accent, all that. And he was not so, he was like the right hand man. He did a lot of the guild stuff for him, you know. He did a lot of like the grunt work, but he should not have ever been in charge of a raid. He was also kind of like a very self-important person, and what happened is an item dropped, and a lot of people needed it, and he was an officer and stuff. And if you don't know, back in the day, like even guilds who didn't really do it, like the officers tended to get gear first, right? That's just kind of how it always was. Maybe not in the very best guilds, but in like all the average guilds, it's kind of just how it was. Officers ended up getting loot first. Even sometimes it was just the players saying that's okay. Yeah, let the officers have loot. But but this was just an item that a lot of people needed. He already had really, really good gear, and he just master looted it to himself without. I can't remember if we had DKP or what we used, if we had some sort of council, but he just gave it to himself, and yeah, there was a huge fallout over it. I ended up taking the side of the, that he shouldn't have done that, and it was really a big drama show. The dude started crying in Ventrilo, and yeah, it was really crazy, and that guild fell apart after that, as to no one's surprise. At some point he was like, well, what should I do? Should I do, I can give you like the next thing, or I can do this, I can do that, and he's like, and we're like, no man, what you did was just wrong. Like there's no really making it better. I was just I wasn't a kid at that point, but I didn't really give a shit, honestly. Like, I thought it was stupid, but I didn't really care that much. It wasn't for me, it was leather, so if it would have been plate, I would have been so angry. But because it wasn't for me, I didn't really care. Unfortunate as that may sound, I was a pretty selfish young person myself, so that's how that guild fell apart. Then I joined that pretty decent guild, and then ICC. I'll actually talk about that, I guess, when I get to ICC. But ICC was an interesting raid as well. We were actually doing really good during ICC. We were challenging for top guild in the server during ICC, so that was an interesting time. Another train. I don't even know how much my microphone picks it up, but it's very annoying to me. There's a train track like half a mile away, and they really, really, really lay on their thing when they come through town here. We're in like a little small town. Honestly, if anybody hears like a humming in the background really bad, that's just, this basically is a test stream to see how much it picks up my air conditioner running. So I'll listen back to it after this, and if it's bad, I just won't run the air conditioner when I'm streaming or anything, or I'll just do something with my mic. I don't even know why I'm waiting for the loot. Oh well. I think I have all the transmog here. I'm gonna feel really dumb if you don't have to clear all these bosses before you do Yogg. I always just assumed you had to clear them. I don't know. I guess I could go check. Again, probably no point of looting, but I'll do it anyways. I'm gonna open up my bags a little bit. Mammoth. Whatever, I'll go through the rest later. Okay. Plenty of room. Let's go. Let's see if I can skip and just go to Yogg. That would be ideal. Yogg, I remember going during Prague. I remember going into the portal, right, and dealing with the insanity. The first time I remember just being completely clueless. I must not have like read up on the fight or something because I didn't know at all what to do. But I asked somebody like, "How do I do this part?" And like they gave me like a really generalized answer, and it worked. Okay, it is locked. Okay. It was worth a try because they've changed so much stuff in here, like with the raid difficulties and stuff. It would have been nice, but we will go do Freya and Tink guy Mimran. I guess it makes sense because you have to do the teleporter or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Mimran has a teleporter too. Nothing has to make sense, I guess. Let's hop in here. Teleporter already works though, right? Yeah, you don't have to kill her for it. Definitely not clearing this room. Freya. Alright, Freya. Get this out of the way. Oh, I still have Azerite power. Oh, because I'm in a lower level zone, the Azerite stuff works. That's cool. I was going to say that's what that swirl was. That was the tidal surge. Okay. You know that it's possible that I don't have all the transmog off of Yogg because I didn't really farm on this character very much, like after and post expansions. So it's definitely feasible. Alright, to Mimran. Come on, let me skip it. Yeah. DoorDash. Okay. See if I can just walk by these guys. That'd be nice. Nope. Alright, whatever. This is so annoying. Now I realize why I stopped doing this all the time. I guess, and this is why I don't do it on this character all the time. You do it on a character that has movement speed. Makes a lot more sense. I need to put on that old Legion Legendary with the heroic leaps or whatever. That if those still work in the old content, that might be worth it, honestly. And then Bounding Stride or whatever. Is that still a thing? Yeah. That could work. Okay. For the long, so like the first, I don't even want to. It's gonna be embarrassing either way, I guess. Probably like the first 10 times I ever farmed this place. So either during Kata or during Miss or whenever that would be, where you could come back and farm it. I thought Mimron's head dropped from Mimron, and I would just stop after this point for no other reason than thinking that's where it dropped, and that it would just drop from the hard mode because my guild never did this hard mode. Like it was something I always wanted to do because it was a big red button, and we never, like I said, we started doing hard modes into Trial of Crusader, but we never did hard modes in here, and so I always wanted to do it. Oh, I have Black Trillium Ore and White Trillium Ore and Spirit of Harmony all sold. I'm hoping everything sells because I don't have like any gold on this server. I'm stuck on Tichondrius' alliance. What? There was no way I was paying to transfer 2 characters over, and I was maining my Paladin, so Paladin got transferred. I could easily just do it, I guess. I'm just cheap. That's all it is. Alright, fight the body. I do remember being very annoyed during the head portion when we were proccing on this. And our range was so bad that our melee was like trying to, when it's all connected, our melee was like trying to do damage to the head. And I was like heroic throwing, or maybe we still had guns back then? Yeah. I think I was like shooting my gun at it from range, trying to hit the head. We probably just had too many melee too. That's the thing. In live, this fight, you would bring like as little melee as possible, and it would just be easy. That's crazy how much smarter people are now. That's the thing about some of these fights too, they're end up going to be super easy in Classic because you're just going to bring the right comp. That's all. And it'll all just be easy. Like if this ever comes to Classic, I guess. Wrath. Which most people think it will. I think it'll stop at Wrath, probably. Except for maybe, like, random expansions or something. I don't know. Like, Legion was very popular, in hindsight, even. There's a lot of complaints during early Legion, but a lot of people loved all the patches in Legion. So, Legion was hyper popular. So, I could see that being a redo. I think Mist was pretty popular, even though I didn't like it. So, I could technically see Mist being a classic. I don't see Cataclysm. I mean, probably, obviously, I don't see Warlords. And then definitely not BFA. And then probably definitely not Shadowlands either. But, so, I think we'll see BC Classic, we'll see Wrath Classic. Cataclysm is a maybe, because there are people who love Cataclysm, but just not very many compared to the others. And then I think there might be a Legion by then, honestly. I think the current players, like some people who are still playing pretty hardcore, oops, they could be like nostalgic back for Legion at that point or something. So I could see that maybe. We also have to remember by that time people might be playing World of Warcraft on their phones, so we might have an influx of new players that are not of the traditional audience by then. Or the game could be dead by then. I mean, both are possible. But from what I was reading, there's phone technology is like catching up to console technology really quickly. And it wouldn't surprise me if, obviously I don't know how they would do it. They'd either have to have, like, limit the amount of buttons you have to click, like almost like a phone version of the same game, like where you're interacting with other players, but you only have like a handful of abilities, or you would, or maybe they'll literally will just be like keyboards that you buy for your phone or something like that, and then that stops the because everyone's gonna have a phone anyways, even if phones end up phones already cost thousands of dollars, whatever. So, but everyone has a phone pretty much. Maybe not the best one, but like more and more people are getting better and better phones, and so I could see maybe that for some people being like, well, I already have a phone, all I have to buy is a keyboard, then I'll play World of Warcraft or insert X game here, whatever PC game. I'll play that if all I have to buy is the keyboard. So I think a lot of games are gonna open themselves up to more players. The console players are real, man. They are not very good in general, but they are a large number. Like everyone from where I'm from, like a smaller town and stuff, they all play console. There's only like a handful, like there's probably a handful of people in my age range, so like within 4 years, granted this is a small town, that play like PC, like actively. Not that they just, that I would say that have a good PC. How about that? Not that they don't play PC games at all, but just that they have a good one. And you know, some of the barriers on that's just money, which I am very attuned to. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, it's almost time. No transmog stuff, like, I didn't think so, but I was a little bit hoping. Don't think I'm going to get it to Kata tonight, but I am going to try to finish up Wrath. I remember when we first got in this room, we didn't even know how to spawn to the boss or anything. What to do. Like, we didn't know how to get the fight started, like running into the clouds and stuff. And then we ran through way too many. Oh, here he comes. They must have lowered the amount you needed to spawn. Interesting. I want to be grabbed by a tentacle. There we go. Okay. Run around. Jump through the portal. Hey, this is the one that I got the first time I ever came in here. I remember the first time I ever did it, I got the dragon one. The first time I ever completed it successfully. So. Hop in there. Condemn. Okay. Condemn Yogg. And let's see. Could it be? Could this be it? Let's see. Do not see Mimron's head there. That is very unfortunate. No Mimron's head. Okay. Very sad. Doubt the wormhole generator's up again. That would be good. It is. No. 4 hour cooldown. Okay. Oh, this thing. There we go. Base camp. So now I have to go to ICC. These ones take forever. You have to like kill everything. I'm gonna have to do the most boring thing ever and sell stuff out of my bags. I guess I don't have to loot, but I don't know. I feel like I'm too poor on this server to not loot the stuff and sell it. 30,000 gold's a lot to some people, I think, but that's not going to get anything done. If there's ever anything I want to really buy or something. Stuff's all we're selling. Oh, there we go. Cool. Transmog thing. I already have the transmog, but that doesn't look cool at all. Can't believe it sells for 1,000 gold. Yeah, sell that. Sell that. Okay. Alright. To ICC. To, yeah, Ice Crown Citadel. I can tell my tales of ICC. For Trial Crusader, I can't remember what it's called now. No. I have Shadowmourne. Can't remember what it was called. Legacy, maybe? Speed is hard now. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. It was my, like, best thing I could link for the longest time. But I don't honestly remember what it's called. I thought it was a feat of strength, but maybe not. I don't know. It would be in raids. AOTCs, cutting edges, no big deal. Palantir, I don't know. Oh well. But yeah, I had the hard mode achievement for Trial Crusader. That was my biggest thing to link back in the day. Again, treasure chests, really good here. Definitely suggest getting that add-on. Takes like no memory. Just put treasure chests on your spawns on your map. Where am I going? Oy vey. Oh, this is a hell of a flight. They were adding dungeon teleports for completing plus 20 keys. They need to add like old raid teleports, and just for people who farm the raids and stuff. That would be sweet. I don't even know where you would put that. I mean, you'd almost have to have like an achievement unlocked. Maybe once you have a certain amount of mounts or something. I don't know. You could tie it behind mounts. Maybe you have to have a mount achievement and a pet achievement. And if you have those two, you can get access to a secret room in like Dalaran or something. Like you have to go to Dalaran. There's a secret room you get to go to, and it has a portal to like every raid possible. So like you either go into a room and it has like all the Wrath raids, all the BC raids, all the classic raids, and like it's just a room with more rooms off of it that have portals everywhere. I think that would be cool. I have to make sure I have this set correctly. I know that I'm confused because when I really was farming stuff, it was back before they redid all this like raid difficulty stuff. So 25 minutes. So it needs to be on heroic for invincible. Okay. 25 man heroic. There we go. So then, yeah. Invincible's raids. We good. So we'll do this, and then we'll do Utgard Pinnacle. So, ICC. This was a fun raid for me. Um, this point, I had talked to the top warrior guy, armor pen and everything up. I'm 100% armor pen, and I'm like one of the best DPS warriors. I didn't have logs back then, but I'd have to imagine I'd be pretty good. I was basically behind Death Knights, right? Death Knights were extremely overpowered. And the Death Knight that I was behind in particular on single target was someone who we gave all of our gear to, which is an interesting thing. I feel like this should be on. It's not a long story, so it wouldn't really be good on Preach's drama time. But his name was Hayton, Hayton, and he was a DK, and he was really good. I thought he was like the best player ever. And we, of course, were going to give him our first Shadowmourne. And, you know, I, of course, wanted it. My friend was a DK in the guild, my real-life friend. He, of course, wanted it. And, you know, he actually did pretty good damage as well. Sometimes he was ahead of me, despite having slightly less gear than me and way less gear than Hayton. And we did everything. We were getting it the same week. We were the second best guild on our server at the time. And we were doing everything right in line with the top guild. Pretty much the same prog. I think we were always like one boss behind them during this raid. Something like that. And 1 week, you know, it becomes the week to get our first Shadowmourne. We've helped him do everything. He's got everything ready to go. He gets Shadowmourne and he G quits. Joins the top guild in the server. They now have 2 Shadowmourns and 2 really, really good players. We lost one of our best players. People were just so downtrodden about it. And that guild pretty much fell apart from that. All because of one greedy player named Hayton. I never would truly forgive him for that because I was having so much fun in that guild back then. Like I said, it was like the first hard mode I ever did. I think the guild didn't technically fall apart. I think we still did like the Ruby Sanctum or whatever. Like what other raid was there after this? Raids. Was that what it was? Ruby Sanctum? Yeah. Like we still did that, but like no one really cared. And pretty much, and we never finished this raid after that either. Because I mean, we had to start over on a Shadowmourne, and it just wasn't great. I think we were giving it to me too. It would have been me or my friend, I would think, but it might have been going to me, and I don't know. It just was very unfortunate. Or maybe I think we might have had a rep paladin. Maybe it was going to him. But either way, just a very sad time. Guild fell apart. And that was that. This is probably the first time too where I probably had like enough confidence to where I was kind of like giving my input on stuff. So that's something I still do to this day. I don't like being an officer necessarily in a guild because I don't think I'm good at it. They might be like, how are you not good at being an officer? Like I'm a little bit too critical of people in some ways, even when I'm not trying to be. Like I've learned, I'm married, so being married, I've learned like how to not do that a little bit, but it's extremely hard for me, and frankly, like it's worth it to you know, consciously think about it all the time with my wife, but it's not necessarily worth it to think about it all the time with like random people. So I'm not necessarily good at that, being an officer, and then when my voice carries more weight and I say something mean, then it's like extra mean. So, but I always like to input stuff because, you know, I'm good at this game and I'm kind of a smart person. So I like to kind of help out, and, you know, I notice things that, you know, maybe Limit didn't notice, maybe because my gear, or not my gear, but our gear is better than theirs, right? So it's like, okay, well, once you outgear this mechanic, you don't need to do this anymore, right? And so I like pointing stuff like that out. And this was the first raid where I felt good enough to do that. Like, I felt confident enough. Like, I'm not someone who does that when I am, you know, bottom DPS, right? Or terrible at whatever I'm doing. I'm going to I like to speak from a position of, hey, of value, I guess. Like, so this was the first raid where I felt valuable, I guess you could say. The hell? Nice crown gunship battle. Let's go, let's go. Come on, Meriden. It's a damn shame they never did anything with... I'm sure they will someday, maybe. They never did anything with, like, the dwarf with Ironforge. So, like, Meriden isn't king because Moira came back. And since there's, like, this dispute already there, then Falstad gets involved. But I would like to see some sort of closure with that. Either, since the Dark Irons are now in the Alliance, right? Like, either Moira should just become queen, or eventually her kid should become king, I guess. I don't know. But I just wish there was something going on there. I hate that there's nothing going on. They had this Council of the Hammers during Kata, and we just haven't addressed it since, even though, like, Magni's come back and and been back to Ironforge, and I don't know if he's been back to Ironforge, but he's definitely seen his brothers, so. Dwarves. Perfect timing. I'm talking about dwarves. He goes, dwarves. Too funny. This dropped a really good trinket, I know that. Back in the day. Deathbringer's Will, that was it. Combat capabilities. I don't know if that was the one that used to give armor pen or not, but I know it was a really good trinket. And of course, Hayden got that first when it dropped. Just like his Shadowmourne. It's so dumb that I have to clear this whole raid. Oh well. Putricide really screwed with my guild for a long time. That was the hardest boss for us. It was like what Council is for live right now. That was Putricide for my guild. Like, I don't know if it was just our comp or what. Because, like, we would do other bosses comparatively really easy. But for some reason, Putricide was just... we couldn't do it. I don't know. I'm trying to think back of what the issue might have been. I don't know if it was like a tank issue, like the tanks couldn't figure it out, but it was something that I had no control over, which is always the most frustrating thing, right? It was something as a DPS I had no control over. Like, I was doing everything I could, and something was failing. It might have been a healing issue, honestly. I can't remember. But maybe the healing issue was caused by the tank issue. I don't know. Extremely frustrating, though, when there's nothing you can do about it. But that is, a lot of times, the penalty of being a DPS, so. I've kind of been mostly a DPS since Wrath, but I still would tank here and there, and I even healed a decent amount. I mean, I healed a little bit during Legion. I healed, like, the very beginning of Legion. I healed during Kata a little bit. That was the only time I played Resto Shaman, but it was only very casually. Yeah. Mostly was healing on a Holy Paladin. Just, that was my Paladin. My Paladin was always Holy. I was always a healer on my Paladin. Warrior, tank, and then Fury. Paladin, Holy, and then, but it became Ret. The way I became a Ret Paladin was because I was looking for a Mythic guild. I was a Heroic Raider. I was looking for a Mythic guild, and I had I had like 2 blue parses as ret while I was holy. Like we just had an extra. We were a small guild, and so like we would raid with like 10 people a lot of times, and we would so like if we had an extra healer one night, like we recruited a new healer or whatever, because I would just play whatever, it's fine, and so I was like, I'll just go rat. I can do decent damage as rat. I didn't even technically know how to play, to be honest. I was playing like the passive talents only, and which doing a blue parse doing that is actually pretty decent, actually, if you think about it. So I did a couple blue parses, and a guild really wanted a ret paladin for whatever reason. They weren't hype. They were decent in Legion for sure, but it's not like they were hyper strong or anything. And he's like, "Hey, you want to invite to the guild? We really want a ret paladin." I was like, "Oh, sure. I mean, you guys have actual mythic progression, and like they weren't a cutting edge type guild, like a clearing raid guild yet. It's the guild I'm in now eventually, but there's hardly any members still in it from then. But yeah, it was like going from a heroic guild to a guild that actually has heroic progression on it, or mythic progression on it, was pretty cool. So I jumped on that opportunity, joined them as rat. I secretly was trying to get in to heal all the time, and they kept telling me I was a bad healer because my healing parses weren't that good, and they really weren't. But the problem is like I said, we were a small guild, so we were like a 10-man guild, and so you can only get so many numbers as a 10-man guild as a healer, because there's only so much healing to go around, because it's just HPS, and like it's your total healing done minus or divided by the fight length. So just generally speaking, there's less healing to do. It's not like damage, where if the boss has less health, you just kill it faster. The damage is lower, first of all, on your players on a 10-man raid, so there's less damage going out, and then it doesn't matter, right? So like complete overhealing, but I don't think that's what it measures. It measures effective healing. So I was trying to explain that to them. It's like there's a difference between healing in a 10-man raid and a 30-man raid. Because I definitely was healing my butt off, and like my couple blue parses as healer were ones where like the other 2 healers died, or either we were 2 healing it on like 10 or 11 players, or it was like I was the only healer alive for a large portion of the fight, and I was able to solo heal it for a large portion of the fight. And it's like that tells me more personally than if someone's solo healing large portions of a fight, that's pretty good. I would value that over logs personally, but in the end, I'm happy because rats end up being pretty fun. It's definitely less stressful. Melee kind of sucks to play overall in the current game, but you know, that is what it is, I guess. I have my raid spot secured, at least as of now, but because I've just been in the guild for a long time, and you know, I do whatever's asked of me or required of me. So other than that, though, like if there's ever big shakeups in the guild, or I just had to join another guild, then I don't know that I would play melee anymore or red anymore. It's definitely a fun class. I respect though. The healing, like the reason why I like paladins. So warrior, this was my first character ever, but technically my second character was a mage. But the character that I played, I just didn't get it to. Technically my second character was a paladin. I just didn't get it to 60 during classic or vanilla, whatever. And so I've always loved paladin because they could do damage and heal. That's what I always felt weak on my warriors, that I couldn't heal. Like, if I could just heal myself, this would be great. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what a paladin is. And so I always was attracted to paladins because of that. And, you know, it's no different now in that I love that I can solo all the content on my rat, like all like the open world content. just generally strong in that way. So, of course, those pull. Oh yeah, and then for the longest, so I don't know when they changed it, but you used to not be able to solo this unless you had healing for Volithra Dreamwalker. And so I had to. The only way I could run this was if I was on my. At the time, Paladin would have been the only thing I had. So that's rough. Let's DoorDash. I think you might have to kill everything here. Oh, I think that might be true. They don't make raids like they used to. Thank goodness. I'm not sure you have to kill everything, to be fair, but just knowing how things used to work, that would be my guess. Okay. We're getting there. I have to go to Uckard Pinnacle still. Ugh. Eventually I need to get one of these mounts just so it doesn't take me as long to run Wrath. Okay, you're dead. Skip Dreamwalker. So I have no way to heal her. I think at one point with the scaling and stuff that Gift of the Nario was enough to heal her. And so you could just do it on a Draenei. But I'm not a Draenei, so that doesn't apply to me. What is all this? Oh crap, all the stuff from the other floor pulled. From the Blood Queen or whatever. The vampire lady. Oh well. This elevator's coming pretty slowly. Ah. They can't walk on the elevator. That's hilarious. You have no power here. Just drop combat. Does Stoneform get rid of more stuff now? That is awesome. At least it keeps my rage up. I guess I'll do this a little bit faster since I'm videoing it. I normally just sit in the middle AFK while everything eventually funnels into me. That's the way true champions do it. Those two did not care that I just charged in and killed their friend. Another round of spiders, I think, now? Yep. This was considered engaging gameplay back in the day. This was like the crap outside of Kel'Thuzad. Riveting gameplay. Blizzard's just not the same anymore. We don't have this. The game, how could the game be good when we don't have this? Standing in the center of a room while things slowly come at you. If they, luckily it's not in the game, because with how hard they have to make stuff nowadays, now it would be like an unrelenting assault of things coming at you. We're almost there. Let's go. Sweet. Cool. Absolutely nothing good. Pull Rhinefang. Stormbolt's damage doesn't like do anything. Alright, Cindy. Okay. That drops every time. Syndragos' Flawless Fang. DoorDash. Back to the upper spire. Freeze for no reason. This looks so much like the new raid in retail. Like, obviously it looks like Torghast too. In a way, obviously not the ice, but it's so similar. I almost have to... Man, that can't even be the case. It looks so similar that it's, I almost wonder if it's... I wonder if there's like some kind of feud between the Void Lords, like the very highest Void Lords, and like the Shadowlands people or whatever, because that'd be interesting because it looks so similar. We know ICC is made out of Serenite, which is like the blood of Yogg-Saron, so like blood of an old god. So if Torghast is made out of the blood of the old gods, that'd be pretty crazy, actually. So alright, here's our chance. Try to get the Invincible finally. I have less attempts than most people do have played as long as me, to be fair. You know, I've probably only done this a couple hundred times on all my characters. And there's people that have done it a lot more than that. Alar I've done just as much as anybody else. But some of these other ones, I think Alar kind of got me off doing it, honestly, because I had such bad luck with it. Alright, RP for 20 years. For this fight on Prague, again, this is another one we didn't finish. Obviously, you know, with our best people leaving and the guild kind of falling apart, like I said. We only ever got to the part... We never even got, like, to any other phase, I don't think. Like, it was pretty bad. We were not equipped to do this fight. We didn't have a Shadowmourne. Just wasn't good. I also wasn't as serious back then, so I might have honestly, maybe they did kill. Maybe I honestly just, like, AFK'd for a few weeks when I was mad about it or something and came back. Something I wouldn't do now, but I was pretty passive. Like, if I was, like, when I was younger, if I was, like, dating a girl or I had, like, a new friend group and we were doing something new or something, I would ditch my guildies and stuff. I didn't used to think of online people as people until I got a little bit more mature. $2 million. Come on, I want them out. Mount. Come on, Tyrion, do your thing. I need this mount. There you go, buddy. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we see Invincible's Reigns. Now, I got something I didn't get, but I never got before, but I do not have Invincible's Reigns. Well, so what did I get? The crossbow. Oh, I'm in combat. I can't believe I've never gotten that crossbow before. Protector's Mark, Vanquisher's Mark. Ugh. One more raid to try. Or dungeon. This one would be fast at least. You can skip everything too. See what this crossbow looks like. I mean, I don't use crossbows, but yeah, it looks like crap. Let's go to Torghast. Oh, nope. Going to Guard Pinnacle. Put that there. Oh, it's already going perfectly. It's when you play this game too much. You know where you're going from miles away. Head there. We'll probably call it quits. Don't think we're making it to Kata tonight. Not with Lich King and Ulduar taking a very long time. I was very sad just seeing this achievement or this quest right here. I was very sad that they didn't have archaeology in Shadowlands. I know it was like I wonder if the person who like started archaeology like doesn't work there anymore, kind of thing, or like the person who really loved archaeology, or they just moved on to do something else. Because I actually really liked archaeology when it was new, right? So I hammered it out. I got like the fossilized raptor. I got all the cool stuff. I got like the cool weapon that you could use for a while. Like it was a nice weapon to use until you got a better one from a raid. That was like the ZG one, Jin Thok, the Destroyer or something like that. I really loved archaeology and just progressively got worse from there. And yeah, like I was very sad that it was gone. It was like one of the only things I did during Mist during the short time I was subbed. And yeah, I always kept up with it, and then like, was it Warlords that I kind of stopped doing it? At some point I kind of stopped doing it because it just had gotten dumb. And then BFA or Legion, I felt like they revived it a little bit with having that special mount and having like weekly things that happen. And I know BFA, they had similar stuff, like they tried to do something with it, but to me it just wasn't good. What the point of archaeology should be is you do archaeology stuff and you get stuff from it that actually feels cool, right? So it could be mounts, it could be literally weapons, it could be armor pieces. I think it could be buying on account gear. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff that you could do with archaeology, and they kind of went away from that. Maybe because it's not super engaging content, right? Like going to a survey spot on the map and then like just clicking the thing until you find it. It's not super engaging. It's literally a time grind, and they've tried to go away from time grinds. They really have. So like anything they want you to grind, it always goes with an end game reward. The way it works. So like Torghast, right? Torghast, it's a grind, whatever, but it goes with a reward. So they're giving you a carrot at the end of the stick to reward you for doing it at least. And you know, and so archaeology would have rewards, I guess, but they wouldn't be. They're not enough to where it has a high player engagement, right? So you can't make archaeology give like raid level gear or something, right? So it's never going to have that level of engagement for the time grind. I think that's why they go away from that stuff. But I think I was actually thinking about this earlier today, just when I was outside or something. I think they should actually go back to just making World of Warcraft more addictive again. I feel like they went away from it really hard because, like, in the US at least, like Congress and stuff was like starting to think about coming after them for like, oh, you have this addicting game where like this is not like, what are you doing to these children? And I feel like they went away from that a lot to where the grindy stuff is only have rewards and it's not very addictive in nature. It's like very completionist, like you just complete it to complete it. And they went away from the stuff like archaeology, like at the original archaeology. That was something you would spend, like if you really wanted that fossilized raptor, you would spend so much time doing it, and it was almost addicting. And I think they've gone away from that a lot. And honestly, I think they should just go back to it because, especially with phone games now, I mean, those are truly addicting, especially because they're like casino style and stuff. So I think they should just go back to it, because I think it makes a large group of the players happy. Like, I think there would be a large group of players happy if they were like addicted to Torghast, right? Like, it was more of like a casino style thing. Like, it was endless. How a lot of people like Bellular wants it to be endless, and he wants you to have super strong, super OP powers, right? That would end up becoming an addictive thing for a certain set of players, that don't like the game a ton right now, to be fair. And so I've actually just kind of changed my mind on that, and thought, because there's no real chance that they would be the target of anybody being sued now with all the mobile games and stuff, that they should just go all out and go back to addictive WoW, because it's not going to hurt a player like me, because I can just not do that content. Like, and if I want to, I'll slowly do it over time. Like, I'm not going to spend 6 hours farming archaeology. I'm not going to be world first at it. It's just not going to happen. Like, so I just don't care. But there will be people who do that, and I think that they just need to be like, okay, that's fine if you want to do that. And I think they have to let the raiders be like, because I started raiding, I was like, yeah, I like that they're trying not to cater to people who, you know, have like 20 raid splits and are doing all this stuff and playing too much, because I don't ever want to be in that position. So I always supported it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if it's better for the game, I would just join a guild that doesn't do that, and allow them to let the higher end people do it. And if I have to be a lower end person because I don't want to do it, then I guess that's just the way it is. Because I just want what's best for the game. And I think, honestly, that's what it comes down to, is what's best for the game is just having this addictive, like, nature to it. Like, it's whatever percent of players. Like, there's a percent of players who are role players. The game hasn't changed a ton for them over time. There's a percentage of players who want to be addicted to it. Like, they want to feel like they need to do it. Like, they want to do it all the time. Like, they want to play all the time, right? That's what they're looking for in a game. They don't want to play, like, and then they play these single player games and they beat them and then whatever. But they kind of want to be addicted to a game. And I know people like this, and, you know, anybody who sees this is going to know people like this, or maybe they are people like this. And I think WoW did that really well and has the ability to do that really well. And they should probably just lean into it, frankly. Alright, enough serious talk. It's time for the mount. It's 100% dropping. Reigns of the Blue Proto Drake. Now this one I have farmed much like Ashes of Valar, because it's so quick to do. Again, I'm not someone who's going to do something for 6 hours at a time typically. Like, even this stream is long for me. So this one, however, I have farmed quite a bit, because it's quite easy to do. Skip 2 bosses, go here, kill a couple spear guys. Easy. Alright, did I pick it up? Yeah. I remember thinking it was a big deal to get this on the 3rd spear total. This is the only boring part of this. Just waiting for this to come back. Can't fire it too early. You can fire it a little bit before that text comes out, but not a lot. Alright. We're going to kill that. We're going to kill that. We're going to kill that. And we're going to get... Oh, I thought I got it. For some reason, I thought the Silken Amiss looked like a dragon's head. Okay. That sucks. Alright. Oh well. Oh well. 4 attempts. I mean, that thing's... Never mind. I forgot. I haven't had this add-on very long. Yeah. So, unfortunately, that's it for this. Did not get any mounts. That's what I was really hoping for, obviously. And then maybe clip that up into a video. But, yeah. Thanks to anybody who stopped by to the stream. Gonna try to do streams more often. I say this all the time, but it's hard. I might go back to Twitch. I'm not sure when I do, because my internet connection's good enough now to where I can do it. So, again, thanks to everybody, and yeah, have a good one.